Hi there, follow me through this video to see how I created faux beams for my kitchen. Everything you see in the kitchen pretty much came standard with the house. I didn't want to pay the builders any more money, but I'll save that for another video. In order to spice up the kitchen, we decided to add some faux beams that runs from the kitchen to the outdoor room to give it some dimensions and a little bit of character. These hollow faux beams were super easy to make. The whole entire project cost me a little under like 200 bucks. The hardest part of this project was the measuring. My long neck did come in handy for this project, but looking up for a long time was not fun. Trying to have the beams to align to the middle of the sliding doors, the kitchen island, the microwave, the lights, the outdoor room, and matching up with the ceiling joist was definitely a challenge. The measuring took me a couple of days because I had to let it sit for a bit just in case I was going to change my mind about the locations of the beams. Overall, it's not completely perfect, but good enough for me. During the construction of our home, we checked up on the progress weekly and we recorded videos of the skeleton of the house so we'd know where all the studs, joists, and pipes are in the house because we know it was going to come in handy, and it definitely did for this project. I created a short video clip using some leftover boards for the sake of showing how I constructed the hollow beams. So I used 1 by 6 inches wood boards for the sides of the beams and 1 by 8 inches boards for the bottom of the beams. All these wood pieces come in 8 foot long, but I cut them down to 82 inches for each beams. In the kitchen, you see that the finished project has only 2 running beams, but in actuality, there's 2 beams in each of those beams, and they're connected by a beam strap. So basically I screwed the bottom of the board of the 2 side boards using 1 1/4 inch nails. For the actual beams, I would screw in about every 12 inches. All the wood boards I got from Home Depot, and like I mentioned before, the project cost me a little bit under $200. I chose pine wood because they are cheap and lightweight. The reason why I separated the beams instead of creating one long piece is for the ease of installing and handling them during the constructing and painting of the beams. They were lighter and shorter to maneuver them around. Once all the beams are screwed in, I use wood putty to cover up all the nail holes. I also used pine woods because I wanted a smooth surface, because I'm going to create my own wood grain texture using a tool I got off Amazon, and I would include the link to the tool in the description. I wanted my final beams to have this tannish beige color in the end, so I painted the beams with a lighter tan color first and let that coat dry. Then I painted a darker tan color on top of that coat. Then quickly, using the wood grain tool, I ran the tool using the up and down motion from one end to the other. And that's how I create the wood grain texture. To me, it doesn't completely look like wood grain, but I mean, no one's going to sit there and stare at your beams. And plus, these are a little high up on the ceiling anyway, so they're not going to see the details really great unless they're like super tall. There's many ways that you can create texture for your beams. You can hit it to make it look like it's distressed, to make it look like real wood. You can paint it a different color. This is just what I chose to do with my beams. The next step is preparing to mount the beams. So in order to do that, I measure out where the ceiling joists are and mounted short 2 by 6 wood blocks to the ceiling joist because the beams are going to be screwed into these wood blocks from the sides. Once I have these wood blocks mounted, I mark them with tape and place the beams up covering these blocks, and this is where you need an extra set of hands because you need to mark where the screws will go into these wood blocks. The reason why you want to mark them with tape is because once you put up the beam, it's going to cover the blocks so you won't know where the blocks are to put in your screws. Once you have the location of your screws because you marked where the blocks are, then you just go ahead and screw your beam into the blocks from the side. To make beam straps, I bought these vinyl inserts that are like $3 each from Home Depot, and they come in a 36-inch bags. Cut them up, and then I used short screws to screw them into the beams, and then I painted them black. The reasons why I wanted to use beam straps is because they hide any extra space between the wall and the beams, and overall it makes the beams look a little more sturdy. For the outdoor room, the process is basically the same thing. Instead of mounting to the ceiling, you're now mounting to stucco, and that's pretty much it. I actually have renovation plans for this kitchen, but I wanted to do it where it made sense and not be wasteful because our house is pretty new and I don't want to throw away any cabinets. Maybe move them to the garage or in the laundry room or something, but I always mock it up in Photoshop first because I'm a visual person to see how everything looks. And here are some renderings. I don't know which one I like. The first option is basically switching out some doors, but I'm having a hard time finding a company that's willing to do just that. The second option has a lot of black, but our house accent color is black, and I think just black makes the house a little more modern and sleek. And the third option is put in some open shelving, but I don't know. Maybe you can leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. As of now, the kitchen stays as is, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and until the next video.